Hey, what's going on, guys? It's JD, the mobile trader, coming to you on what is this, Tuesday? What do we have here? It has to be Tuesday. Tuesday, March 24th, 2020. Big time. First off, look, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, do me a quick solid and give me a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so we can let everybody know that there's a diverse crowd of interested parties who trade the market, invest in the market, and we're looking to build some long term wealth. So, okay, right to the point, guys. Dow had its largest point gain or greatest point gain since probably 1933, I believe. But I want to talk to you. I had a chance to get out today, and I drove and went and picked up a book for my daughter from curbside pickup at Barnes and Noble. But as I was driving, I was able to kind of do just an assessment, and it's a ghost town. I'm in the North Texas area. The stay home notice hasn't come in yet, but it just hopped across the ticker. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go over some companies that I just noticed that were ghost towns, and we're gonna look at their charts. But first, let's take a look at the Dow. Dow made a nice pop today. This daily chart and a bear channel, heavy bear channel at 328 was a line in the sand at one point in time. The date was March 11th. Pushed through that, retested it on 13th, sold off, and we have a nice gappy sell down. A lot of volatility going through this. 20K was a line in the sand at one point for me. Actually, the date was the 16th. We bounced off that, found support, then sold off. So we're in that little area. Basically, this is a parabolic wedge pattern down, and we had to get a pop, but there's a gap there that's probably going to be rectified. Who knows when? No vote yet on the stimulus package. I'm concerned about a few things, but let's take a look at some of these companies. Today I rode by TJ Maxx and Ross. Parking lots were empty. Of course, I mean, everybody's paring back, but I just wanted to see the charts on the daily and maybe the weekly. Let's take a look at Ross. Same great long term trend running into the corona, but had a nice bounce. We'll go in a little further. Pop, doji, good strength, continuation, and today they popped $8.66, up 13%. That's a nice move with volume. Coming out of the RSI below 30, and it's coming up like it's trying to catch a little wind. So Ross's parking lots are empty for the short term. I was looking at possibly a trade, but long term, Ross always, buddy of mine, Maurice Jackson, was talking about the discount retailers, how when we tighten that purse strap, we're not going to go for the big luxury goods. We go for necessities, and Ross is one of the spots. That's a nice recovery right here. Double bottom, not a perfect double bottom, but it's a double bottom on the hourly. Closed the gap, had a gap down. That gap's been closed. Gap up. This possibly going to be rectified maybe in the pre-market. You never know. Tomorrow we'll see. And if we want to say a double top has been met right here, that's where we are. So if we break above the 71.90, 72 handle, there's some supply right here. So that 75 might be a climbing point for Ross. But uh, there could be a sell off, but you just can't get ahead of price. But I'm just trying to look at these things. The next one is TJ Maxx. I'm not trying to make a buy, sell, or hold recommendation. I just want to kind of build a thesis right now. Um, TJ Maxx has the same pattern, of course, but has a lot. It seems like has some good strength within this contagion. A lot of buying pressure came in with volume on the date on the 17th, and the 18th, 19th. Big sell off on the 20th on light volume, more buying volume. Uh, TJ Maxx is in a good position, but I think that doesn't mean we won't go lower. Let's say 3 year weekly. There are some levels that we're looking at that have been visited before and recently visited as a result of visible on this chart. So 34.14 is not out of question, but the march back is going to be tough. But it seems like it showed some strength. So definitely just want to take a look at TJ Maxx. I mean, their parking lots were empty. One of my concerns is Cheesecake Factory. That was in the same parking lot. This was at a mall. Uh, Cheesecake has some volume, upswing, big sell off, declining volume, same today's pop, visible pop. Um, Coming out of this had been oversold for quite a period, bounced, tapped the RSI, sold off again, broke through. Might be some weakness coming, but hey, let's see what the long term. It was basically for the last. There it is. Okay, let's get back out. A light downtrend, lower highs, found a little bit of it's in the trading range, light trading range up here, and then the sell off. So, the march back is a slow, steady climb, hopefully, but we'll see how that goes. The next one was Texas Roadhouse, and Texas Roadhouse just announced that they've expanded to curbside and expanded to go options, which is big. I was worried about cheesecake because of the higher end, I guess, food services places or restaurants. Their takeout options I don't think are as robust as some of the other spots. But let's see what Texas Roadhouse looks like on the chart. That's a weird chart, gapped up. It was in a weird gappy trading range. What kind of volume do we have? Billions. Okay, 2, 3. Parabolic wedge down, and I'll draw that parabolic wedge when I say it's not as acute as others. Just like a falling wedge, but it just with a sharper angle. Several taps on the trend line, and then and a lot of times when you get the exhaustion candle and a little bit of buying pressure coming in, you get a breakout. But it's not a guarantee, but it happened on this one. I don't know what to say about this one. A pretty gappy situation. It's fighting through some things, and the fact that they announced a couple of days ago that they've expanded their takeout, the options. That's something. That's a positive move. Yeah, we and it closed the gap down. It basically filled a gap that occurred. What we have on the 13th, and it opened up down on the 16th on a Monday, coming off of just a bear channel, a tight bear channel, sell off, bounce. That level 3470 was a level of support for them. Broke through it, found another one. So that channel was kind of broken out, really turned into a base, and broken above a little area right now. If it can hold support, it might not have to fight the market if the market turns around. So keep an eye on Texas Roadhouse. That might be something just for other than, these aren't trades right now. These aren't setting up as trades for me, but they might be a long-term consideration on as a recovery happens. But I tell you what, Kroger, their parking lot was loaded, and I'm just looking. Look at this. Kroger is holding up during this period right now. I mean, if I wanted to just draw like a support line, basically. No, I'm going off of this one right here. I don't want to go that. I like a little bit of an overlap over the trend line. It's tapping that. I'm not putting any. Let's see if I'll put the 50 on here. Put the 50 period simple moving average on here real quick. I'm on Thinkorswim. Yeah. Broke above the 50. Channel below it broke above it. Kind of been hugging it a little bit and getting cozy with the 50 in the run up. Big spike. Now, okay, here is a parabolic wedge pattern to perfection on both sides. So if we want to just run that line right there through the bottom of the lows. So basically higher low. It's a very acute. It's not the traditional wedge, but you can call it there's a wedge in there if you want to look at it like that. A lot of times we get an exhaustion out of that, or we get an exhaustion to the downside. Exhaustion, and then you have a reversal. Now, the thing about that, big volume, lower volume on the reversal, and it didn't even get overbought. So that was just profit taking within that, or just what date was this? That's the 20th. Let's see what we have on the news on the 20th. Preferred apartment communities. Where's Midway Shopping? TikTok donates. Anyway, I like Kroger. I like Kroger from a long-term perspective. Have that's a demand zone right there. Put a little bit of a price level right in here. And it's not going to be exact, guys, to the penny. But that $28 handle is a good support level. There's a little gap in price right here. A gap, but no big deal. Let's see, we got a little news that just broke across on here. White House official tells anyone who has left New York City that they should self-quarantine. Okay. Are they playing mind games or whatever? All right, guys. Kroger's looking good for a long-term hold, but it's just that is a choppy weekly chart. Trading range, it's in that trading range on the weekly, but Kroger is holding up during this contagion right now. It's worth consideration. Worth consideration. Okay. All right, we did that. We got these guys out of here. Home Depot. That was a channel up right there. That was a bull channel right there, and just it was price range bound. Stayed in that channel for a good period. Let's see, from the March 19th to the October 1st. That was 2019. Broke down. Great run up. Found resistance up here in this area. Sold off and retested and broke through, and then we had Corona. Damn it, Corona. But anyway, it's found a little bit of support, actually a lot of support, a week's worth of support. Let's see what the daily looks like, guys. That's a big gap, because I actually saw a Home Depot truck in the neighborhood out still doing deliveries and I guess the installation. So we'll see. Home repairs are probably in the RSI, man. It bounced off that 30 and ran. So Home Depot looks like a nice long-term holder, long-term consideration. Definitely not a short-term trade. Okay, guys. All right, here's the next topic, next area that I've been looking at. I've looked at was looking at the regional banks. Then I heard they had a guest on CNBC today that mentioned some of the regional banks who have exposure to the oil situation in Texas, Oklahoma, and was it North Dakota? I'm not sure exactly, but the regional banks have been struggling just like everything else. But there's going to be the default situation, and the gentleman mentioned Comerica Bank, a little bit more exposure than the others to the oil situation, or the oil, I guess, the contentious situation in the oil market. I'll put it like that. Let's see, Comerica Bank, Charitable Foundation, relief efforts. Here it is. Smaller banks are getting whacked. Nation's regional banks are particularly sensitive to the challenges posed by the pandemic. They have less diversified lines of business and loan portfolios and can be concentrated in one particular area. BOK's financial loans are tied to the energy sector. BOKF. Now, Zion has been getting hit. So, Zion is an energy exposed bank as well. Comerica is basically the oil side of things. They've sold off about 50%. Let's see what I had down. So, I'm looking at these. I'm using KRE as almost like the canary in the coal mine, or the canary in the tailpipe of an 88 Cutlass that's in the coal mine. You got to sneak it in there. So anyway, I just see some weakness down here, but if that stimulus comes through, a lot of the banks are going to pop, but the ones who are exposed to the energy sector, like look at Zion. Everything has found a green pop over the last several days, give or take, and their volume's been, there's a lot of volume on Zion. Zion is a pending short, guys. A short play, whether it's through puts or it's on a downswing. I would look for a short setup on Zion. It's probably going to test that 27 handle. There's resistance above 25.70. And a lot of supply right here on the hourly. Zion is a short setup. Beware of Zion. Also, I was looking at Ozark. Let me just see what kind of news Zion has. And Zion has to stop eating so much, man. He's a bigger guy. But hold on one second, please. Okay, guys, I'm back. I sounded kind of awkward. My baby girl came in. She needed to print something for virtual school now. Anyway, I was talking about Zion Bank, basically overweight in the energy sector, and it's taken a hit. It's visible. It's 4-hour chart. That's the 50-day. 50 period is just it's in a tanking situation, guys. And on the 4-hour, we're above the 30 on the RSI. Had a bounce. And Zion is a short below 23.58, or if you want to just go 23 with the standpoint of a little bit higher of a higher probability. Wow. Anyway, okay, guys. Stop would be above that area, like right at 29.46. But I'm looking for the breakout. I was giving it. Zion didn't run. Like, let's see what the. Looking for the ATR, average true range. So I guess I just don't have Zion on this thing here now. Well, let's get the regional banks up here. $2.14, so it's not an amazingly high flyer. Now, Comerica is at 4, NTRS is at 6 handles. All right. So Zion's on our list for the regional, the overexposure to the oil sector. Comerica is still in there for me. Zion made a compelling argument for that, but this is also a setup too with the doji on the day. Finished up with the doji. Looking at that 27. The low of the day was 29.07. Wedge pattern. Anyway, there's a chance for a short on Comerica also, but also off of news and also off of just the exposure. NTRS found support. There's a total difference between NTRS. Let's just go with let's see what Fifth Third looks like. All of these companies or all of these regional banks had pops, have found a little bit of support until, well, I bet USB even further. Well, USB is, they're a popular bank. Dividend on 330 of 42 cents. I was in USB. I got a nice move, but I think it has a little bit more support. That might just be a surprise candle to the downside. Support areas is that 28.29 area. Let's see regions. All of them popped except we go back to Zion and it fell through its support. That's the compelling argument for me right there. CMA bounced, CFG bounced, Key. Yeah, Zion is the only Ozark. Ozark is on the borderline of that. Yeah, Zion is the play on that. From the long term perspective, I'm not really looking at the regionals. Um, the next play I was looking at the loan servicers, mortgage servicers. So you bail out the homeowner or the landlord, you bail out the big bank, the mortgage provider, but the loan servicer is kind of hung out to dry. Let's see. And Coop was struggling for me, Mr. Cooper. Below these levels, below that 543, but that's such a tight short. I'm just looking at it, and it's finding consolidation right there, and we never know. So just kind of weaker chart on Fulton Financial. This is an ETF. I was just trying to actually gauge the entire sector. That's a weak one, but I don't think NBIN has options. No options on that. Definitely no options on that. But just keep an eye on the mortgage provide, the loan servicers. Excuse me. Coop is weak, and Fulton, but it still is. Design is the only compelling one to the downside. These others might be something for a future hold, but Kroger and Home Depot are long-term recovery acts for me also. But let's go over quickly over just like some of my favorites that I'm really just I'm impressed with. But before we go, and they're at discounts, but I'm looking at the movie studios. Everybody popped. You know, they're trying to release some things from home, which is actually AMC might be. AMC has found some support. Bull flag trying to get a little support. Look at you, AMC. Um, I was also looking at the airlines basket. Everybody popped, and they're waiting that stimulus thing. So this could be the airlines could fall into that category of you hop on for a ride, or if that stimulus bill doesn't pass much sooner, you know, Southwest has put out a notice about they're struggling and getting to a point, but everybody's been on a downtrend. But these pops have happened. Spirit Aerosystems, Boeing is going to be a key. The Boeing outcome will be key for Spirit. I'll just put Boyd up there. This is a casino gaming, and it popped. All the casinos, everybody's popped, man. They've now. This is a big day today for everyone, and I don't want to get too exuberant or irrationally exuberant, but within a lot of bullish pops occur within a strong bear trend, so we just need to kind of keep it in perspective. And I want to look at the cruise lines really quick. And Norwegian is weak for me, but they had a lot of volume today, 46 million, and had a good pop. But they closed below their. It's not a really strong bullish move. Closed the gap, fell back down a little bit. See what the hourly looks like on Norwegian. Like the 20-day. Looking for a base breakout. Close that gap. But it needs to find, if it's going to make a decision, it has to get above that level, get above 15. And if it fails at 15, we're looking at, maybe finding a trading range back into the 9, 10, or even there's support right there around $11. So RCL, I think, found a little, everybody popped, but the trend has been just really bearish. That's a nice little cup formation. That's Norwegian. They all had the same situation. And we'll go with, okay, guys, I need to wrap this up, man. Wifey has to get on the clock from home. But the last thing, here we go. I like the following. They're at a discount. I'm willing to hop in, slowly rebuild positions or build positions with the fact that I know that it could go lower. I mean, Apple at 215. Like the long-term, just the long-term outlook for Apple. I think they're a technology company. Everybody calls them a phone company. I'm a fan of Microsoft. It's showing strength in here, and it found its support level, right? I mean, this was a demand zone back in June of 2019, all the way through. Nice accumulation period right there. Consolidation, markup phase, Corona, but it's consolidating again, guys, looking for a pop. So Microsoft is definitely a buy and hold, and it found support, even fighting through just tough periods. So that's one of my favorites. I see NVIDIA. My charts are messy, but NVIDIA found support. It hadn't really just sold off. It has found strength and support and popped up, and it's at resistance. It might pull back and close this gap. Definitely get it down at 200, 212 area. If it falls down any lower, man, under 200 is definitely a buy. Same with AMD. Gap hasn't fallen below a breakout level, the breakout level that occurred on December 12, 2019. Definitely a buy. Tesla, more of a speculative buy, but it hasn't fallen below. It's that 360, that was a breakout area. This was a gap. Does it try to fill this gap at 262 back from October 24th? Who knows? But if it comes down there, that's a double buy. And a lot of reports will be written about Musk. Let's go Amazon. It's really in the trading range, man. But it's a technological buy. Everybody says it's overpriced, but it is what it is. And a couple of speculative plays. Definitely, I'm a fan of space, guys. Big time fan of space. Speculative play. I like what they offer. Like Branson. I like the management. I like what Trummpp. I can't say his last name, but the owner of the Warriors, Golden State Warriors, minority owner, I believe. And Uber, Grub, Square, Marriott, Zoom. I like Zoom's technology. It's been on a serious run. It pulled back today, but that was it was overbought. close the gap. I would look for an entry, even if it pulls back a little further. It's going to run into support. Zoom is a buy, and it's also a trade. And Cisco. Let's see what Cisco is finding support, finding strength, consolidating in this area in this trading range, and looking for a break above these levels right here, above 38.68. It might pull back and kind of just stay in the trading range for a while, but their WebEx, their what is it? Their conferencing, video conferencing. Everybody's using those video conferencing apps and the software right now and it's not going to stop. People are going to realize, hey man, this is key, and it's going to time to upgrade. So, okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Have a great day. These aren't buy, sell, or hold recommendations. Perform your own due diligence. Drop me a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.